The origin story of Zeus, king of the gods. Many of us grew up hearing about Zeus, the supreme ruler of the cosmos in Greek mythology, and how he and his siblings, Poseidon and Hades, drew lots for the earth, sea, and underworld respectively. But have you ever stopped to think about how Zeus came into power? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. How did Zeus defeat the Titans and claim his birthright as king of the gods? Let's find out. But before we do, remember to hit that like button if you haven't already. And now, without further ado, let's begin. We've said it before and we'll say it again. Cronus wasn't exactly the god of the year. After swallowing his first 5 children, he had no idea that his wife was expecting one more. When the 6th child, a baby boy, was born, Cronus cut off one of his testicles and threw it away. It sprouted into a tree, oozing a white substance. The nymphs collected this ichor and used it to anoint themselves with. That's why they became known as the Mali, or apple-bearing maidens. As for the boy, Cronus swallowed him too. This time he hadn't fully chewed the baby down when his wife Rhea intervened. She told Cronus that he would be the death of someone, either her or their son. Instead, he should just raise the kid as his own. Now, that's some reverse psychology for you. And it worked like a charm. Cronus forgot all about getting rid of his son, and in fact embraced him as his very own. He named him Zeus, meaning sky, and raised him on the highest peaks of Mount Othrys. This may sound like a happily ever after, but trust me, it's not. It's not even close. One day Zeus visited the Theban seer, Tiresias, who warned him that he would grow up to dethrone his father, just like he'd dethroned his own father, Uranus. Yikes. And that wasn't all. Tiresias also revealed that Zeus would one day be unfaithful to his wife, which would lead to his downfall. However, he added that Zeus could avoid all this by marrying the daughter of a mortal king. Yeah, not sure how that was supposed to help, but okay. As it turned out, Zeus didn't need Tiresias' advice, because he already had his eyes set on a girl named Semele, who was so beautiful, she caught the attention of the gods. So Zeus decided to visit her in disguise as an old man. And although Semele initially rejected his advances, he eventually won her over, and they fell madly in love. Zeus promised to marry her and make her immortal, but unfortunately, he kept breaking his promises left and right. And before you knew it, they were both in way too deep. You see, Zeus was already married to the Titan goddess Metis, but he couldn't get a divorce because, well, they weren't really into that back then. Plus, he kind of tricked Metis into marrying him in the first place. Not exactly Mr. Perfect, are you, Zeus? Anyway, Metis had already given him a few gifts, one of which was a magical helmet that made the wearer invisible. But when Zeus realized he needed something to hide from his wife, he gave the helmet to his friend, the hero Heracles, instead. Talk about a recipe for disaster. Metis was furious when she found out and swore revenge. She went to see her father Oceanus and told him that Zeus had betrayed her and stolen her magical girdle. Oceanus was so outraged that he unleashed a flood upon the world, which caused the earth to crack open and let loose all kinds of monsters. Gaia, the personification of the earth, felt threatened by these monsters, so she called upon all the gods and goddesses to fight back. They battled furiously until Zeus finally emerged victorious. But he had a bit of a problem. Now that his father was defeated, he had to figure out what to do with him. You can't exactly keep your dad locked up forever, can you? So Zeus had his siblings swallow Cronus whole, but with a twist. Before he disappeared inside his sister, Cronus vomited up all the children he'd eaten, including the goddess Athena. Yes, that's right. All those years of being trapped inside Cronus' stomach had turned Athena into a full-grown adult. So now, there were 12 Olympians ready to take on the Titans, and they did so with style. Led by Zeus, they fought the Titans across 3 generations, with the Hecatanchers being the last ones standing. But let's be real, this battle was pretty epic. Like, imagine 12 superpowered beings going toe-to-toe with a bunch of monsters. There were giants, there were gods, there was magic galore. It was a true test of strength, strategy, and of course fighting skills. And let's not forget about Zeus's lightning bolt. That thing was a game changer. It was so powerful that it struck the Titans with such force they couldn't stand up again. No wonder Zeus is considered the supreme leader of the gods. After the dust settled and the Titans were defeated, Zeus and his siblings divided the cosmos among themselves. Zeus got the sky, Poseidon got the sea, and Hades got the underworld. Meanwhile, the surviving Titans were banished to Tartarus, where they spent the rest of eternity suffering. The Hecatanchors, though, they were a special case. Zeus chained them up and threw them in jail, but not just any jail, mind you, a magical floating island in the middle of nowhere. These guys were just too dangerous to be left alive, so it was either kill them or lock them up. And Zeus chose the latter. Now this might sound like a happy ending, but let's be real. Nobody's happy when they're chained up on a floating island. But hey, at least they didn't die, right? Now, this is where things get really interesting. You see, when Zeus arrived in Olympus, he found out that his brother Hades had taken the throne while he was gone. Apparently, he'd been ruling over the gods for 10 years already. But don't worry, they settled their differences quickly and became besties. Hades gave up the throne, and Zeus took over. Let's be honest, it's probably for the best. I mean, who doesn't want their leader to be a dude who can throw lightning bolts, right? But wait, there's more. Zeus was generous enough to share his power with other gods too. He allowed Hades to rule over the dead and granted Poseidon control over earthquakes. Plus, he made Hera, Demeter, Athena, and Apollo High Council members, giving them the power to shape the future of humanity. It was a power move, for sure, but it also created a sense of unity among the gods. After all, they were in this together. Now, you might be wondering what happened to the humans during all this chaos. Well, let me tell you, they had quite the adventure too. Some of them were devoured by monsters, others were blessed by gods, and some were simply wiped out. But hey, that's life, right? Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's terrible, and sometimes it's just crazy. Ultimately, though, the human race survived the Titanomachy and went on to create the Golden Age, a time of peace and prosperity that lasted for 1,000 years. It was a perfect world where humans and gods lived together in harmony, and it all happened thanks to Zeus and his siblings. So yeah, I'd say they did okay for themselves. And that's a wrap, folks. I hope you enjoyed this episode of our series exploring the fascinating origins of Zeus and his rise to power. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more mythological adventures. Till next time, remember to stay curious, keep learning, and always ask why. After all, knowledge is power, and the more we know, the more we grow. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.